Part 1. The Discovery Dar. Kim Dae-ho stared at his computer screen. The numbers did not make sense. He rubbed his eyes and looked again. The deep-sea sonar readings were still the same. This cannot be right, he said to himself. Kim worked for the Global Ocean Mapping Project. His job was to map the ocean floor using sound waves. Most days he found rocks, sand, and old whale bones. Today was different, very different. The sonar showed something huge under the water. Not just one thing, hundreds of things, maybe thousands. They were all over the ocean floor, deeper than any human had ever gone. Kim picked up his phone and called his team leader. Park Min-soo, you need to see this, Kim said. Can you come to the lab right now? 20 minutes later, Park Min-soo walked into the lab. He was a good oceanographer who had studied the ocean for 15 years. Behind him came Dr. Lee Hana, their best expert on strange life forms. What is so important? Park asked. Kim pointed at his screen. Look at this data from the Pacific Ocean. Zone 7 Alpha. We sent the sonar down 20,000 meters. Look what it found. Park looked at the screen. His mouth opened wide. What? What am I looking at? I do not know, Kim said, but there are more, many more, all across the ocean floor. The screen showed shapes that looked like ships, but they were massive. Some were as long as 10 city blocks. They sat on the ocean floor like sleeping giants. Dr. Lee Hana moved closer to the screen. These shapes. They are not natural. Someone made these things. But who? Park asked. And when there are no records of ships this big in all of human history. Kim clicked his mouse. More images appeared. This is from the Atlantic Ocean. And this is from the Indian Ocean. They are everywhere. The computer counted over 2 million objects. So far, the room became very quiet. 2 million unknown objects on the ocean floor. All of them looked like they were made by intelligent beings. We need to report this, Park said. This is too big for us. Report to who? Kim asked. The government, the United Nations. This will change everything we know about history. Before anyone could answer, the lab door opened. A tall woman in a black suit walked in. She had short hair and cold eyes. Dr. Kim Dae-ho, she said. I am Agent Smith from the International Maritime Authority. We need to talk. Kim felt his heart beat faster. How do you know about this? We just found it an hour ago. Our satellites detected your sonar activity. We monitor all deep-sea discoveries. Please show me what you found. Kim looked at Park and Hana. They both nodded. Kim turned his screen toward the agent. Agent Smith looked at the images for a long time. She did not speak. Finally, she picked up her phone and made a call. This is Smith. We have a Level 9 discovery. Yes, Level 9. Send the special team and contact the Galactic Council. They need to know about this. She hung up and looked at the three scientists. What you found today is classified. You cannot tell anyone about this. Not your families, not your friends, not other scientists. Galactic Council. Dr. Lee Hana asked. What is that? Agent Smith sat down. 3 years ago, alien beings made contact with Earth. They formed a group called the Galactic Council. They have been watching us and helping us with technology. But they also study our planet. Kim felt dizzy. Aliens are real, very real, and they will want to see your discovery. They know about everything that happens on Earth. 2 hours later, the lab was full of people. Government officials, military officers, and scientists filled every corner. But the most interesting visitor was not human. Ambassador Velthor stood 7 feet tall. His skin was blue, and he had 4 arms. His eyes were large and yellow. He wore a silver robe that seemed to glow. Greetings, humans, Velthor said. His voice was deep and musical. I represent the Centauri Coalition. We are very interested in your discovery. Kim could not believe he was talking to an alien. Why, oh you want to see the sonar data? Yes, we have been mapping your planet for many years. These objects were not there before. They are new. New? Park asked. But our dating equipment says they are very old, maybe 30,000 years old. Velthor's forearms moved in what looked like surprise. 30,000 years. That is not possible. No species in this galaxy had space travel 30,000 years ago. Space travel? Dr. Lee Hana asked. You think these came from space? Look at the shapes, Velthor said. These are clearly spacecraft, very advanced spacecraft. But no one had this technology so long ago. Another alien walked into the room. This one was tall and thin with green skin. I am Commander Zephyk of the Stellar Hegemony. We have been studying your planet's history. There are no records of any species having such technology in the past. Kim showed them more images. We found these shapes all over the Earth's oceans. They are in patterns, like they were put there on purpose. Velthor and Zephyk looked at each other. They seemed worried. This changes everything, Velthor said. If these ships are 30,000 years old, then someone had space travel before any of us. Before the Centauri, before the Hegemony, before anyone. But who? Zephyk asked. What species could have built these ships? Kim looked at the images again. Something about the shapes looked familiar. He had seen similar designs somewhere before. Can we go down and look at them? Kim asked. Can we bring one up? Agent Smith nodded. We are already preparing a deep-sea mission. Dr. Kim, we want you to lead the scientific team. This is your discovery. Kim felt excited and scared at the same time. When do we start? Tomorrow, Agent Smith said. We have a special submarine that can go that deep. You will be the first humans to see these ships up close. Velthar spoke up. The Galactic Council will send observers. This discovery affects all of us. If there was an advanced civilization 30,000 years ago, we need to know who they were. And what happened to them, Zefik added. Where did they go? Why are there ships at the bottom of your oceans? Kim looked out the window. At the ocean, somewhere down there, in the dark depths, millions of ancient ships waited. Ships that should not exist. Ships that would change everything humans thought they knew about their world. We will find out, Kim said. Whatever secrets are down there, we will discover them. The aliens looked at each other again. Kim did not know it yet, but his discovery would shake the foundation of galactic history. The truth waiting in the deep ocean would prove that humans were not the young species everyone thought they were. The greatest mystery in the galaxy was about to be solved, and it would change everything. Captain Seo Jinwoo stood on the deck of the research ship Poseidon. The morning sun made the ocean sparkle like diamonds, but his mind was not on the beauty. Deep below, ancient secrets waited. All systems ready, Captain, said his first officer. Lieutenant Park, the deep-sea submarine is prepared for launch. Jinwoo nodded. Good, Dr. Kim, are you ready? Kim Dae-ho checked his equipment one last time. Ready as I can be. This is the deepest anyone has ever gone to look for artifacts. The submarine Deep Explorer was special. It could go down 25,000 meters and survive the crushing pressure. Inside, Kim sat with Dr. Yoon Yoon-ji, a quantum physicist, and 2 other scientists. Beginning descent, the pilot announced. The submarine dropped into the dark ocean. Light from the surface disappeared quickly. Soon, only the submarine's lights showed the way. How long until we reach the wreck site? Kim asked. 2 hours. The pilot replied. The target ship is sitting on an underwater mountain. It's one of the smaller ones. On the surface, Ambassador Velthor watched the submarine's progress on a large screen. Next to him stood Commander Zefik and a new arrival, an alien with silver skin and large, dark eyes. This is Morden, Velthor said to Agent Smith. He is from the Ethereal Archive. They keep records of all galactic history. Morden's voice was soft and whispered. In all our records, no species achieved space travel before 20,000 years ago. These ships should not exist. Maybe your records are wrong, Agent Smith said. The Silverlian's eyes flashed. Our records go back 50,000 years. We have never been wrong. 25,000 meters down, the submarine's lights finally found the ancient ship. Kim pressed his face against the window and gasped. My God, he whispered, look at the size of it. The ship was enormous. It stretched out beyond their lights, disappearing into the darkness. The hull was made of some kind of metal that still looked new after 30,000 years. The design, Dr. Yoon said, look at those curves. That's not random. Someone who understood advanced physics built this. Can we get closer? Kim asked. The pilot moved the submarine carefully. As they got closer, details became clear. The ship had symbols on its hull, strange writing that looked almost familiar. Are you getting this on camera? Kim asked. Every second, the pilot replied. The surface team is seeing everything we see. On the ship Poseidon, the alien observers watched in silence. The symbols on the ancient hull were clear now. Those markings, Morden said slowly, they look like, but that's impossible. What? Agent Smith asked. What do you recognize? The mathematical principles shown in those symbols. They are more advanced than anything we use today. Commander Zefik pointed at the screen. Look at the engine section. Those are definitely faster than light drive systems. Faster than light? Agent Smith asked. You mean this ship could travel between stars? Yes, Velthor said. But the design is unlike anything in our databases. It's completely new technology. Down in the submarine, Dr. Yoon was examining the ship's structure with her equipment. Kim, you need to see this. The metal composition is incredible. It's stronger than our best alloys, but it's made from common elements. Can we take a sample? Kim asked. Already on it, the pilot said. He extended a robotic arm from the submarine. The arm cut a small piece of the hull and put it into a storage container. Moving to the engine section, the pilot announced. They moved along the ship's length. More amazing details appeared. The engine section was massive, with technology that looked like art. Beautiful curves and flowing lines that seemed to move even though they were solid metal. This is not just advanced, Dr. Yoon said. This is elegant. Whoever built this understood both science and beauty. Look there, Kim pointed. Is that an airlock? The pilot moved closer. Yes, it was definitely an airlock, and it was huge. Much bigger than human airlocks. The beings who used this ship were larger than humans, Kim said. Or maybe they just liked big spaces. Wait, Dr. Yoon said. Scan the area around the airlock. I want to see the control systems. The submarine's scanners focused on the airlock controls. The symbols were different here, more complex. But something about them made Kim's heart beat faster. Those symbols, he said, they remind me of something. Something I've seen before. On the surface, the alien observers were having their own discussion. The energy readings are off the charts, Belthor said. This ship still has power after 30,000 years. Impossible, Zephyr said. No power source lasts that long. Unless, Morden said quietly, they had better technology than we do now. Agent Smith looked at the aliens. Are you saying this ancient ship is more advanced than your current technology? The 3 aliens looked at each other. Finally, Velthor spoke. It appears so. This is very disturbing news. Why disturbing? Agent Smith asked. Because, Morden said, if someone had this technology 30,000 years ago, where are they now? What happened to them? Back in the submarine, the team was making more discoveries. They found what looked like weapon systems, defense shields, navigation equipment that seemed to map the entire galaxy. This ship was built for long-distance travel, Dr. Yoon said. Look at these supply sections. They could support a crew for years. How big was the crew? Kim asked. Dr. Yoon checked her readings. Based on the life support systems, maybe 500 people. This was a big ship with a big crew. 500 people, Kim repeated. That's like a small city. The pilot moved the submarine to the front of the ship. There, they found something that made everyone stop talking. Are those windows? Kim asked. The front of the ship had huge transparent sections. They were not broken or damaged. They looked like they were made yesterday. Bridge windows, the pilot said. This is where they controlled the ship. Kim stared at the windows. For a moment, he imagined the bridge full of people. People working together to sail among the stars. But what people? What species? We need to get inside, Kim said. Too dangerous, the pilot replied. The ship might be unstable. We should return to the surface and plan a proper exploration. Wait, Dr. Yoon said. I'm getting some strange readings. The ship is, responding to us. Responding how? Kim asked. Lights. There are lights turning on inside the ship. It knows we're here. On the surface, alarms started ringing. The ship's scanners were going crazy. What's happening? Agent Smith asked. The ancient ship is powering up, Belthor said. After 30,000 years, it's coming back to life. The submarine pilot's voice came over the radio. Surface team, we have a problem. The ship is activating. Systems are coming online all around us. Get out of there, Agent Smith ordered. Return to the surface immediately. We're trying, the pilot replied, but something is holding us. The ship has us in some kind of tractor beam. Commander Zephyr stared at the screen. Tractor beam technology. We are only now developing that. The ship is scanning us. Dr. Yoon's voice came over the radio. It's learning about us. Learning what? Agent Smith asked. I don't know. Dr. Yoon replied, but I have a feeling it's about to tell us something very important. Kim looked out the submarine window. The ancient ship was now covered in lights. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. I think, Kim said slowly, we're about to discover who built this ship, and I have a feeling we're not going to like the answer. The ocean around them began to glow with an ancient light. Captain Cho Hyun-sik put on his diving suit. He was the best submarine pilot in the world. Today, he would go deeper than any human had ever gone. The ancient ship released the first team, he said to his crew, but it kept their samples. It wanted to study human technology. His submarine, Deep Seeker, was smaller than the first one. It could move faster and hide better. Perfect for exploring the massive wreck field. Our job is to map everything, CO said. We need to know how many ships are down there and how they are arranged. Dr. Nam Soyoung sat behind him. She was a language expert who studied ancient writing. If we find more symbols, I'll try to read them. Maybe we can learn who these people were. People, Cho asked. You think humans built these ships? I don't know, Soyoung replied, but the symbols look familiar, like something I've seen before, but can't remember. The submarine dropped into the dark water. This time, they went to a different area. The sonar had found something interesting, a place where hundreds of ships sat together in perfect rows. Like a parking lot, Cho said, or a cemetery. On the surface, the research ship Poseidon was busy. Scientists worked day and night studying the metal sample from the first ship. The results were shocking. The metal is definitely from Earth, Dr. Yoon-ji told the assembled group. Iron, copper, nickel, all elements found on our planet. Ambassador Velthor's forums moved in confusion. But the way they combined these elements, it's impossible. The molecular structure is perfect. No flaws at all. How is that possible? Agent Smith asked. We don't know. Dr. Yoon replied. Our best factories cannot make metal this pure. These people had technology we don't understand. Commander Zephyr studied the data on his tablet. The stellar hegemony has been working on perfect metallurgy for 1,000 years. We still cannot achieve this level of purity. Morden, the silver-skinned alien, spoke quietly. This suggests the builders were more advanced than any current galactic civilization. But who were they? Agent Smith asked. Where did they come from? 25,000 meters below. Captain Cho was getting answers. His submarine moved through a forest of ancient ships. They were arranged in groups, like military formations. Battle groups, Chu said. These ships were organized for war. War against who? Dr. Nam asked. Good question. Look at the size differences. Some ships are small and fast. Others are huge and powerful. This was a real military fleet. Dr. Nam was studying the symbols on the ship's hulls. Each ship had markings that looked like names. These are definitely ship names. And look here, crew numbers. This ship carried 800 people. 800. Cho was amazed. That's like a floating city. And this one carried 2,000. Dr. Nam continued. These were not just ships, they were like moving planets. The submarine's cameras recorded everything. On the surface, the alien observers watched in growing concern. The formation patterns, Velthar said, we use similar arrangements in our current fleets, but these ships are arranged better, more efficiently. They knew advanced military tactics, Zephyk agreed. Tactics we are still learning. Agent Smith frowned. Are you saying these ancient people were better at war than you are? It appears so, Velthar admitted. This is very troubling. Captain Cho moved his submarine to a new area. Here, the ships were different. They looked like cargo vessels. Huge containers filled their holds. Trade ships, Cho said. These people were merchants too. Dr. Nam was excited. The writing on these ships is different, more decorative. And look, there are pictures too. The pictures showed scenes of daily life, people working, families together, children playing. But the people in the pictures were clearly human. Cho, Dr. Nam said quietly, these people, they look like us. What do you mean? I mean they look exactly like us. Same height, same build, same faces. These are humans. Cho, ancient humans. Cho stared at the pictures. The faces looking back at him could be his neighbors, his friends, his family. But that's impossible, he said. Humans didn't have space travel 30,000 years ago. We barely had fire. Maybe we're wrong about our history, Dr. Nam said. Maybe humans were more advanced than we thought. On the surface, Dr. Nam's discovery was causing chaos. The pictures from the submarine showed clearly human faces on the ancient ships. This cannot be right, Commander Zephyk said. Humans are a young species. You only developed space travel 50 years ago. Well, look at the evidence, Agent Smith said. These are human faces, human writing, human technology. Morden was very quiet. Finally he spoke. If humans had space travel 30,000 years ago, then our entire understanding of galactic history is wrong. Wrong? How? Agent Smith asked. We have ruins on many worlds, Morden explained. Ancient cities, old technology. We always thought they were built by unknown species that died out long ago. And now? Agent Smith asked. Now we must consider that humans built them, that humans were in space before any of us. Ambassador Velthar was studying star charts. The Centauri Coalition controls 47 worlds. On 32 of them, we found ancient ruins. If humans built those ruins, then humans were there first. Agent Smith finished. Before any of you, deep underwater, Captain Cho was making more discoveries. He found an area where the ships were arranged in circles. In the center of each circle was a larger ship with special markings, command ships, Cho said. The leaders sat in the middle, protected by the other ships. Dr. Nam was reading the symbols on the command ships. These are names. Personal names. Admiral Kim Yong-ho, Fleet Commander Park Sang-min, General Lee Mung-soo. Korean names. Cho said, they have Korean names, not just Korean. Dr. Nam replied, I see Chinese names, Japanese names, Indian names, all kinds of human names from Earth. This is incredible, Cho said. These were human fleets, led by human admirals, with human crews. But look at this. Dr. Nam pointed to another symbol. This isn't a name, it's a date. And if I'm reading it right, it says these ships arrived here 30,000 years ago. Arrived from where? Chu asked. Dr. Nam studied more symbols. From the stars. These ships came from many different star systems. They were coming home to Earth. Yes, these ships were coming back to Earth. But why? What made them leave the stars and come back? On the surface, the implications were sinking in. Fleet Admiral Crixton had arrived from the Stellar Dominion. He was their best military strategist. You're telling me, Crixton said, that humans once had a galactic empire? The evidence suggests it, Agent Smith replied. These ships represent the largest fleet ever discovered. Millions of vessels, all human-built. But where did they go? Crixton asked. If humans had such an empire, what happened to it? We think they gave it up, Dr. Yoon said. The ship arrangements suggest an organized retreat. They came back to Earth on purpose. On purpose? Why would anyone give up a galactic empire? We don't know, Agent Smith said, but we're going to find out. Captain Cho's voice came over the radio. Surface team, we found something new. A ship that's different from all the others. Different how? Agent Smith asked. It's not damaged. It looks like it was put here carefully, and it's sending out a signal. What kind of signal? Dr. Yoon asked. I think it's a message. A message for whoever found these ships. The alien observers looked at each other. After 30,000 years, the ancient humans were finally ready to speak. Dr. Beek Timon worked through the night. He was the best archaeological engineer in the world. His job was to understand how old things were and why they were built. The dating results are final, he told the team. These ships are exactly 30,000 years old. All of them arrived at the same time. Captain Park Ji-hoon commanded the military ships protecting the research area, all at the same time. How many ships are we talking about? Our latest count is over 3 million vessels, Beek replied, the largest fleet in known history. The special ship that Captain Cho found was now connected to the research vessel. Scientists were trying to understand its message. The signal was complex but clearly artificial. It's like a recording, Dr. Nam Soyoung said, a very long recording. It might take days to decode. Ambassador Velthor paced nervously on the deck. His forearms moved in patterns that showed extreme worry. 3 million ships. That's larger than all current galactic fleets combined. And they're all human ships, Agent Smith added. Built by humans, crewed by humans, commanded by humans. Commander Zefik studied the fleet formations on his tablet. The organization is perfect, better than anything we've seen in modern warfare. These humans knew how to move large fleets across space. But why did they come back to Earth? Agent Smith asked. If they had an empire across the galaxy, why give it up? Maybe they didn't give it up, said a new voice. Maybe they were running from something. Everyone turned to see Dr. Yoon Yeon-ji. She had been working on the ship's technology samples. Running from what? Agent Smith asked. I don't know yet, Dr. Yoon replied, but I found something strange in the ship's computer systems. They were tracking something that scared them. Deep underwater, Captain Cho was exploring the message ship. This ship was different from all the others. It was smaller but much more advanced. The technology inside was incredible. The computer systems are still working, Cho reported. After 30,000 years, they're still recording data. What kind of data? Dr. Nam asked. Star charts, thousands of them. This ship has maps of the entire galaxy. And look at this, they marked which worlds had human colonies. Dr. Nam studied the star charts. There are hundreds of marked worlds, maybe thousands. The human empire was huge, was Cho asked. Look at the dates on these charts. The colonies were abandoned, one by one. Over a period of about 500 years, humans left every world in the galaxy. All of them came back to Earth. It looks that way. This was the largest migration in galactic history. On the surface, the alien observers were having an emergency meeting. Fleet Admiral Crixton had brought star charts from the Stellar Dominion. We need to compare these charts, Crixton said. If humans had colonies on the worlds we now inhabit, we need to know. Morden spread out his charts from the ethereal archive. These show the locations of ancient ruins we've found. Ruins we couldn't identify. Ambassador Velthor added his charts from the Centauri Coalition. Same here, we have ruins on most of our worlds. When they put all the charts together, the pattern was clear. Every world with ancient ruins matched a world on the human star. Charts. By the stars, Crixton whispered. Every world we think we discovered. Humans were there first. Not just there first, Agent Smith said. They built cities there, they lived there. They called those worlds home. For how long? Velthor asked. Dr. Beek had been studying the dates on the recovered artifacts. Based on the evidence, humans had galactic colonies for at least 10,000 years. Maybe longer. 10,000 years, Zefik repeated. That's longer than our entire recorded history. But why did they leave? Crixton asked. What could make an entire species abandon the galaxy? The answer came from the message ship. Dr. Nam had finally decoded part of the signal. It's a recording, she announced. A message from the last human admiral, Admiral Kong Syo-kinan. Can you play it? Agent Smith asked. Dr. Nam connected the ship's systems to their speakers. The voice that came out was clearly human. It spoke in ancient Korean, but Dr. Nam translated. This is Admiral Kong Syo-chin of the Human Galactic Fleet. I am recording this message for future generations. Today, we make the hardest decision in human history. We are leaving the stars and returning to Earth. The recording continued. For 10,000 years, humans have lived among the stars. We built cities on 1,000 worlds. We traded with species across the galaxy. We became the greatest civilization in known space. But we made a mistake. We expanded too fast. We took too much. We forgot where we came from. We forgot what made us human. The galaxy is vast and beautiful, but it is not our home. Earth is our home? Earth is where we belong. Some will call this retreat. Some will call it failure. But we call it wisdom. We choose to return to our birth. We choose to start over. The recording paused. Everyone in the room was silent. We are not running from enemies. We are not fleeing from disaster. We are choosing to step back from empire. We are choosing to remember who we are. The ships that brought us home will sleep in Earth's oceans. The technology that carried us to the stars will rest in the deep waters. Future generations will find us when they are ready. When humans again reach for the stars, they will do so with wisdom. They will remember that true strength comes not from conquering worlds, but from knowing when to come home. The message ended. The room remained silent for a long time. Finally, Morden spoke. They gave up a galactic empire, by choice. To return to Earth, Agent Smith said, to start over. But why? Velthor asked. Why abandon such power? Dr. Beak had been thinking about this. Maybe they saw what we see today. Different species fighting over worlds. Wars over resources. They decided it wasn't worth it. So they came home, Agent Smith said. All of them, 3 million ships carrying the population of a galactic empire. And they sank their ships, Captain Park added. They destroyed their own technology so they couldn't be tempted to use it again. Until now, Dr. Yoon said, until we found them. Ambassador, Velthor looked out at the ocean. The ancient ruins on our worlds, they're all human ruins. Yes, Agent Smith confirmed. Your civilization's built on human foundations. You learned from human technology. You followed human star charts. Without knowing it, Zephyk added, we've been copying human achievements for thousands of years. The question is, Crixton said, what do we do with this knowledge? Dr. Nate was still studying the message ship's data. There's more to the recording. Admiral Kong left instructions, guidelines for when this technology would be found again. What kind of guidelines? Agent Smith asked. Rules for returning to space. Conditions that must be met before humans should reach for the stars again. What conditions? Velthor asked. Dr. Nam read from the ancient text. Humans may return to the galaxy only when they have learned to work together with all species. Only when they seek not to conquer, but to cooperate. Only when they remember that the stars belong to everyone. The alien observers looked at each other. For 30,000 years, they had been preparing for this moment without knowing it. And now, Agent Smith asked, have we learned these lessons? The answer would determine the future of the galaxy. Dr. Choi Minho stood before the largest gathering in galactic history. The Galactic Council chamber was packed with representatives from every known species. Today, humanity would share the truth about the ancient ships. Honored members of the Galactic Council, Dr. Choi began, we have discovered something that changes everything we thought we knew about our galaxy. Ambassador Velthor sat in the front row with the other alien leaders. Behind him, thousands of beings from across the galaxy waited to hear the truth. 30,000 years ago, Dr. Choi continued, humans had a galactic empire. We lived on thousands of worlds, we traveled between the stars as easily as you travel between cities. The chamber erupted in surprised voices. Many species had never heard this news. But our ancestors made a choice. Dr. Choi said, waiting for quiet. They chose to give up their empire. They chose to come home to Earth. Why? Called out a representative from the Outer Rim territories. Why abandon such power? Because they learned that true strength comes from wisdom, not conquest. They learned that the galaxy belongs to all species, not just one. Dr. Shin I, the marine biologist, had spent months studying the final artifacts from the ocean floor. She had found something amazing in the last message pod. The ancient humans left us a gift, she announced. Technology that could help every species in the galaxy. But they also left conditions. What conditions? Asked Commander Zephyk. That we work together. That we share knowledge instead of hoarding it. That we explore the galaxy as partners, not as conquerors. Ambassador Ru Dongwu, representing modern humanity, stood up. The Galactic Council has a choice to make. We can continue the old ways of competing and fighting, or we can honor the wisdom of the ancients. What are you proposing? Asked Fleet Admiral Crixton. A new kind of galactic civilization. One based on cooperation instead of competition. One where all species benefit from our shared knowledge. The alien representatives whispered among themselves. For thousands of years, they had competed for resources and territory. The idea of true cooperation was frightening and exciting. The keeper of galactic records spoke up. The ancient humans had technology we still don't understand. Technology that could solve many of our problems. Energy systems that never run out. Dr. Choi added, medicine that could cure diseases across all species. Transportation that could connect every world in the galaxy. And you're willing to share all of this? Asked a representative from the core worlds. Yes, Ambassador Ru replied. But only if we all agree to share, only if we work together. The debate continued for hours. Some species wanted the technology for themselves. Others worried about humanity becoming too powerful. But slowly, the wisdom of the ancient choice became clear. Think about it, Ambassador Velthor said to his fellow aliens. The ancient humans were more powerful than all of us combined, but they chose to step back. They chose to let us develop on our own. And now their descendants offer to share what they could have kept secret, added Commander Zephyk. This is not the behavior of conquerors. Deep in the ocean, Captain Cho was still exploring the ancient ships. He had found something that made him smile. Personal belongings left by the ancient crews. Dr. Nam, he called over the radio. You need to see this. Dr. Nam Soyoung looked at the items Cho had found. Pictures of families, letters to loved ones, children's toys. These people were not just soldiers and scientists, she said, they were families. They had children, they had hopes and dreams, and they gave up the galaxy for their children. Cho replied, they wanted their children to grow up on Earth, not on conquered worlds. That's true love, Dr. Nam said, love for their children and love for their home. Back at the Galactic Council, the final vote was about to begin. But first, Admiral Kong Seokin's complete message was played for everyone to hear. To those who find this message, the ancient admiral's voice filled the chamber. We leave you, our technology, not as a gift, but as a responsibility. Use it wisely. Use it together. We learned that the galaxy is too vast for any one species to rule. We learned that true strength comes from helping others, not controlling them. If you can work together, if you can share knowledge and resources, if you can explore the stars as friends instead of enemies, then you will succeed where we failed. The galaxy belongs to all who live in it. Make it a place where all species can thrive. The message ended. The chamber was silent. The vote is simple, announced the council president. Do we accept humanity's offer to share ancient technology in exchange for a new era of cooperation? Voting took place by species. One by one, the representatives made their choice. The Centauri Coalition voted yes. The Stellar Hegemony voted yes. The Ethereal Archive voted yes. The Outer Rim Territories voted yes. When the final vote was counted, the result was unanimous. Every species in the galaxy had chosen cooperation over competition. The motion passes. The council president announced, we hereby establish the Galactic Cooperation Accord. Ambassador Ru smiled. The ancient humans would be proud. Their sacrifice was not in vain. But this is just the beginning, Dr. Choi added. Now we must prove that we can work together, that we can build something better than what came before. Over the following months, the changes were amazing. Human technology was shared with every species. Alien knowledge was given freely to humans. Problems that had seemed impossible were solved in days. The energy crisis that had plagued the Outer Rim was solved with ancient human power systems. The plague that had threatened the core worlds was cured with combined human and alien medicine. Trade routes that had been fought over for centuries became shared pathways for all species. Dr. Kim Dae-ho, who had made the first discovery, often stood on the deck of the research ship and looked out at the ocean. Somewhere below, 3 million ancient ships rested in peace. They're sleeping peacefully now, he said to Captain Seo. Their descendants kept their promise. What promise? Seo asked. To return to the stars with wisdom. To explore the galaxy as partners, not conquerors. And have we? Seo asked. Have we learned their lesson? Kim smiled. Look around you. Humans and aliens working together, sharing knowledge. Exploring new worlds as friends. Yes, I think we've learned. The ancient ships had revealed their secrets, but the greatest secret was not their technology. It was their wisdom. The wisdom to know when to step back. The wisdom to choose cooperation over conquest. The wisdom to remember that true strength comes from helping others. Humanity had returned to the stars. But this time, they had not gone alone. They had brought all their galactic neighbors with them. The galaxy was no longer divided by species, and territory was united by the ancient human dream of a civilization, where all beings could thrive together. The ships in the ocean had fulfilled their purpose. They had taught the galaxy that the greatest power was not the power to conquer, but the power to unite. And in the depths of Earth's oceans, the ancient vessels rested in eternal peace, knowing that their sacrifice had created a better future for all.